So will a hot tub adequately heat a greenhouse so that you can grow food all winter long, and at the end of a full day of gardening, have a place to kick back and relax? The answer coming up next. All right, my friends, so I'm going to give you a quick update on what I've learned so far after having installed this inflatable hot tub in my 200 square foot greenhouse, or hoop house, high tunnel, whatever you want to call it, as a means to try to keep it warmer in here, raising the ambient air temperature, and at the same time perhaps reducing the electricity costs to keep the spa at temperature, as it's also being protected by being here in the greenhouse where the temperature is warmer. It's also protecting the spa from any fallen debris, leaves, and giving us a nice place to hang out at the end of the day. So yes, the whole idea here is to stack our functions and get multiple uses out of as many things as we can to increase our yield and lower our cost. So rather than just have the spa somewhere else out in the yard where the heat gets dispersed and not utilized, we're utilizing that heat by putting it in the greenhouse, and it really has a small footprint overall. It's just in the back end of the greenhouse. We still got plenty of room and area to grow over here. So there's a few different variables to consider, such as the size of your greenhouse, the size of your spa, what temperature you keep it at. But most spas have a top temperature of 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's a couple different results I'm going to go over with you today in this video. The first one being, what is the temperature shift we're able to accomplish, the increase in temperature in the greenhouse, if we keep the hot tub covered? Only about a 3 to 4 degree temperature shift. Now the good news about that is that this cover here, which it has an inflatable insert in there working as the insulation along with the cover, it's doing an excellent job helping to keep that heat in. So it's limiting the power consumption of the unit. You put that together with the fact that we have it in the greenhouse and we're dramatically reducing our costs of running the spa. So the main benefit I see to having the spa in the greenhouse when it's covered is that you're lowering your operating costs to keep it at temperature. With that being said, 4 degrees can still be significant. That could make the difference between freezing temperatures or just above freezing temperatures, which could kill off some of your more sensitive plants like tomatoes and peppers that you have growing. Wouldn't make much of a difference for some of the dormant cuttings that we have going here, like the goji berry. So last night what I did is I put this on full blast, 104 degrees, and I took the cover off, allowing all of that heat to really disperse into the ambient air here to see what kind of temperature shift we could get. I came back several hours later in the middle of the night, 2:30 in the morning, and I checked on the results. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So it's about 2:30 a.m. and I decided to do a check on the greenhouse this evening as we've got some cooler weather, and I want to see how much we were able to increase the temperature with the hot tub on and the lid off of the hot tub. It's quite a foggy night tonight, and we're at about 36, possibly 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see where we're at in the greenhouse. Let's turn on the greenhouse grow lights. That's better. All right, so inside we have, say, 51 degrees. So right now the hot tub is sitting at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I have it set to heat up to 104 degrees, so it's dispersed some of that heat into the air here. See, the hygrometer is showing about 75% for humidity, so it is creating some condensation in here. So nearly a 15 degree temperature shift from outside to inside. And so here's what we got. It was 37 degrees Fahrenheit outside of the greenhouse, and inside it was 51 degrees. So we had a 14 degree, almost 15 degree shift. It is right on the edge there. So that was excellent results. I was very happy with that. With that being said, there was a notable difference that I wanted to discuss by having the hot tub uncovered in here, and that was the condensation that occurred. Now, we had a humidity of 75%, but it was wet enough in here that you can still see evidence of it with the water droplets on the cover here and on the shelf back there. Not a big deal. This is a greenhouse. A lot of the plants are going to thrive off that humidity, but something to take into consideration. What I plan on doing is actually utilizing this technique on nights when I know for a fact we're going to be dropping down below freezing, and it's just going to boost me up into the range that I know I can survive all my plants and seedlings that I get started in here. So I'm super excited about that. So my plan going forward is to utilize the cover off the spa technique when I know for a fact, like I said, that we're going to drop down to those lower temperatures. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it covered. I'm going to accept that extra 4 degrees or so that we get in the greenhouse, and I'm going to continue to utilize the countertop water distiller method, which gives me an added 7 degrees in the greenhouse, which is wonderful because I'm distilling a gallon of water once to twice a day. So to have a cycle or two running overnight, because I've got 2 different distillers, I can set them up back to back with their cycle. I can have a 7-degree shift in here, which is again going to usually keep us above freezing in here. So far we have experimented and tried out a couple different techniques on ways to keep the greenhouse up to temperature and keep it in that safe zone for growing plants. And these are experiments that I wanted to perform prior to us heading into winter, where it's going to really get colder. I wanted to have this data, this information at hand, the knowledge base already locked in, so I know what I can do, get ahead of the game, so to speak. With that being said, I have yet another technique that I'll be employing, another experiment that I'll be putting to the test and coming out here in the middle of the night once again to see how we're doing as a means to keep the temperature in the greenhouse up and above the threshold where the plants would die off. So you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. With that being said, my friends, it is definitely cooling down. We're in the 40s Fahrenheit at the moment this afternoon, heading into the evening. Just wanted to quickly show you how well the perennial tree collards and kales are doing with this cooler weather, just booming atop this hugelkultur mound over here. And I just want to let everybody know who did partake in the recent seed offering that all orders have now shipped, mostly yesterday and today. So you should all be receiving them before Christmas. Here's another pineapple guava or feijoa tree as well that we have in the chicken run. And you can see all the fallen fruits down there. We've got an abundance of fruits. This tree didn't put off as large of fruits this year, but it's still holding on to a bunch of fruit, whereas the other one over in the center of the garden has already dropped all its fruit. We've already harvested all the fruit from it. So it's nice that we have 2 in different little microclimates that produce a harvest a little offset of each other. I've started harvesting some oranges off the Washington navel here. And this baby is loaded down with some vitamin C rich oranges. Yummy. And the wisteria vines winding their way up and around the garden arbor here are dropping most of their leaves for the winter. So you can really see the structure of the vining here. Creates a lot of rigidity on this garden arbor. I really love how this has turned out. And the yellow foliage of the wisteria is very beautiful. And the ceanothus plant here is beginning to bud out. And here's a couple actual blooms beginning to pop here in mid-December. You know, one of my favorite things about ceanothus, and there's plenty to love about this evergreen shrub, is the beauty that it creates in the garden when everything else is gone dormant for the winter. You get this explosion of beautiful color in the garden, and it brings in the bees very early in the spring. Well, that's going to do it for now, my friends. I'm going to head inside, warm up a bit before me and the wife head back out here a little later on, take a dip in the hot tub. So with that, I want to wish y'all a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.